and
Motivator.
agitator and all them other good subjectives and rectives and all that other shit. My
Hey,
bad, my bad.
Sean Porter could have used that last night about 12:30.
Good morning, Nick fans. Yes, sir. Let's start it right there. I actually, because I refuse to pay for that fight, because I'm not a Sean Porter fan, and I knew
I
Bud would
like
take him
Sean
out.
Porter though. I like Sean Porter, man.
No, I knew Bud would take him out. I knew Bud would take him out. It was just a matter of when. So
Yeah.
I watched it. I woke up this morning. I watched it maybe like 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning,
Okay.
and and
And
Bud was
I
playing with
saw
him at first.
I saw to hit you at 6:30 too.
You should have.
I saw to
You
hit
should
you up
have.
by 6:30. Yeah.
You should have. In between and meantime, in between time. But Bud was playing with him at first.
He could. I didn't see the fight yet, but I was following it on ESPN
Oh yeah, I watched it this
because
morning.
I had to work last night, man. So
Bud was playing with him, and I've never. And this is the thing. Sean Porter's two-time welterweight champion. So he's nothing to slough at,
right.
especially once you've gone to the mountaintop and fallen over, and then you get back up and you go back to the mountaintop
Yeah.
to win it again. But as a fighter, he's fought everybody in this generation. Sean Porter has fought them, and he's
Yeah.
beaten majority of them.
Yeah.
But I've never liked him as a fighter, and
Bro, he is well taught, bro. He
he's
is
well taught. His father is more than capable. Him and Bud go way back,
Yep.
as far as, because him and Bud, you could call them like frenemies as far as fighters
Right.
are concerned. They've
Right.
known each other. They've sparred
Came
and
up through
all
the
that things.
same ranks, came up through the same
Absolutely,
ranks, they weigh the
absolutely.
same,
And
around the same age. You know
yes,
what
and
I'm
his
saying?
dad did something. His dad stopped the fight last night. After Bud dropped him for the second time, his dad jumped up on the top of the apron and threw the towel in. And that was it. And his dad said it. His dad said something that was pretty interesting. His dad said, "I stopped the fight," and he said, "Honestly, I stopped the fight because he didn't prepare for the fight the way I thought he should have prepared." That's
so so what
exactly what his
so
father said.
so so what did he mean? Did he mean physically or mentally? Because I didn't see the fight and I was following it. Dan Rafael from ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
So I was following his thing on the phone, and it sounded to me that the kid knew what to do. I mean, was trained what to do, but then when you get in there and get hit, it changed your mindset. You know what I'm saying? So
Porter for me has always been a sloppy fighter, a brawling type fighter without a brawler's punch.
oh well,
You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
it's I liken it to it. If you ever seen how some of the women fighters are,
yeah,
and it's a brawl kind of way, and no one has that one punch drop you kind of thing. He doesn't possess that heavy handedness, but he did have a good account for himself
right,
during
right.
the fight. Because I thought Bud was playing with him. I thought Bud was not necessarily playing with him, but playing around a bit too much during the fight. And
Oh
then
yeah,
8, 9, and 10, especially in 10, the combinations that he put together was ooh, sweet,
right.
sweet.
I was gonna say his father. When somebody stopped the fight in the 10th round, they usually have seen something in like the 6th, 7th, or 8th round, and
Mm.
they want to do something then, but they want to give their fighter a chance. And then if it don't come, then they just by the time you get up there on the thing, because and I know we're gonna talk about the weird history of the Knicks shooting guards, right? And I know that's what the Knicks fans tuned into, but I want to say this though, just real quick, and we'll transition into that AD. But my boxing coach used to tell me stuff, and he used to threaten me, like he used to look me in my eyes. He's like, "Yo, are we here?" He look at me. He like, this is what he used to tell me. Look at me, Uncle Frazee. Look at me. And I'm like, I am looking at you. And then I'll be tired, slunched back. I'm like, man, I'm looking at you, man. And he's like, yo, I'm saying, if you don't look me in the eyes, I'll throw this towel dead in the middle of the ring. That used to be his threat. Because the threat was like, I ain't gonna throw it on the edge of the ring. I'm gonna walk up and place it in the middle of the ring. And I'm like, you better not throw no towel. And he was like, well, look at me then. And then I'll be like, and then you have to look at him because, you know, my coach, he was serious. You know what I'm saying? He like, yo, this ain't about wins and losses no more. This is about your health. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, like, because sometimes with so much stuff going on, like I ain't gonna lie to you, this how it work, bro. You get in the ring, you be mega focused, right? You be so focused. Like I used to be so focused on a fighter that during the fight, while we moving, I could see individual sweat beads on my man's face. You know what I'm saying? I could see muscles twitching on him because that's where your reflexes come in at. Like you could see muscle twitches. That way you know when to move, where he's moving at. You know what I'm saying?
You're looking for the openings.
Right. But then you get hit so much and exhaustion kick in, all the training that you did leading up to that, you just like, yo, I just need to catch him. I just need to catch him. You know what I'm saying? You develop your own strategy, right? And your coach would be like the coach would be like, yo, remember the combination we talked about, man? You know what I'm saying? What you want to do is fake off the jab and like what we used to do is fake off the jab, double hook to the body, right? You're like, yo, fake the jab and double hook to the reverse pivot, side pivot, and double hook to the jab and reverse pivot out of there. People think combinations is, yo, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Nah, that ain't just your combinations. You see a boxer fight, you find out where his hole at, and you train towards that. And meanwhile, that boxer is training to sharpen up his weaknesses because if he saw his own weaknesses, everybody else in the world has seen it too.
Yeah,
it's like Prince Nassim, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, I mean, not Prince Nassim. Remember, he was good.
The wide stance, probably, at least as far as my eyes, probably the hardest hitting lightweight that I can remember. Right?
Yeah,
pound for pound. Yeah. Maybe even harder than Roberto. Maybe even harder than Roberto. Maybe even harder than Chavez. He was just his legs were like his calves. They were like tree trunks. But it's just his style. He was so unorthodox that it wasn't gonna last for him. But he had something that boxing needed at that time. His showmanship that boxing needed at
he had the Macho Camacho style. Remember Camacho?
Yes. And he was just laying people out. A good fight that, for fans to check out. Prince Nassim versus Kevin the Flash Kelly.
Oh no, not that fight, bro.
Prince Nassim versus Kevin.
Not Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, not excellent fight in Madison Square Garden where they both touched the canvas a couple of times.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly was supposed to be the next megastar, bro.
I thought Kevin had his moment, but
he was supposed to be generational, bro.
Yeah, here's the one thing with Kevin. Kevin didn't evade punches well. So it's like he would do the things that they tell you not to do, not to move backwards.
Right. In a straight line.
Not to move back in a straight line. And hey, again, Kevin was champion twice, got to the top of the mountain.
He was supposed to be undefeated,
Before we transition, I want to touch a little bit on the magazine that I sent you yesterday, The Ring. And for those who haven't seen this magazine yet, I happened to be in the grocery store yesterday and I saw it. and I haven't purchased a magazine in God knows however long.
Decades, bro.
Decades. And on the cover, immediately, they had dream matchup Durant versus Whitaker, right? But even better than that, they do a compilation of each division over the last 75 years, or bet even longer than that, since the beginning of since 1867.
Okay.
The top 5 fighters of each division. I implore you to get it. Any boxing fan, get it.
Bro, I'm gonna
go out and get it.
I'm gonna say this, bro. I'm gonna just say this real quick to the history of boxing. Even though I love Sugar Ray Robinson, in my mind, boxing didn't start until 1970. And the reason being is because in the from the 1860s to about 1950, the championship belt, the champs, it was too political, right? Like in the 1860s, if you weren't white, you couldn't fight for the championship belt. You know what I'm saying? You almost had to fight in side circuits. You know what I'm saying? If you were, and I don't mean just white. I mean if you were not a specific race, ethnicity, you just couldn't fight for the championship. Excuse me, right? If you were like from the Balkans, if you were Jewish, if any of that, you couldn't fight for the championship belt. If you were Italian, if you were Irish, bro, you couldn't fight for no belts. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't allow you to get in it. They wouldn't allow you to even get in a ring. They wouldn't allow you to be in the same city as the champ. You know what I'm saying? And you remember how hard Jack Johnson had to look. Jack Johnson
didn't become champion, so he had to.
So he was an old man.
He won. He didn't get his first shot until age 30 against Noah Broussard, which is not his name. That's his real name. His fighting name was His name it's skipping me right now.
It was whitewashed. It was a whitewashed name.
But he was. This dude was like, Jack Johnson might have been like 190, 195, something like that.
Yeah.
And he gets into the ring with this dude who's like 175, and he's like 5 inches shorter than Jack Johnson.
Yeah. And
Jack carried him for like the first couple of rounds.
To make sure people got their money's worth.
Yeah, make sure people got their money's worth. And back then, because it ain't nothing for them to lynch your brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Broad daylight. Ain't nothing for them to lynch your brother.
But Jack Johnson had his white girl waiting in the car.
Yeah, to Jack is like, all right, you know what? All right, it's over now. And he knocks him out, and you see him falling. And one of his, and I think it was the police or something like that, they run in and they stop the videotape.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want anyone, or they stopped the movie footage because they didn't want anyone seeing Jack Johnson knocking out this dude.
Not during those times, bro.
Not during those times. That's a name. That's someone who's like, and I remember talking to someone about Jack Johnson. I said Jack Johnson is like, as far as black men were concerned, Jack Johnson was the first it.
He was a maverick, bro.
He's the first it. He's the first guy to be like, I'm here, and so what?
Before Ali with that lip.
I'm here, and so what?
Yeah.
And okay, I want all these white women with my chicken. And guess what? Guess what?
And I want my money in bags. And I want my money, all of it, in small bills, in a bag of cash.
Yep.
Yeah, you like.
Yep. And then the damn thing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. And I'm gonna do
what you gonna? And he like, what you gonna do? Beat me up?
What you want? Yeah. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Beat me up?
Yeah.
Like the word, the event battle royale. For those who may not know, battle royale was when whites used to pit the slaves together in the ring, and they would be head covered. So you didn't know who you were fighting.
Right.
That's where the original battle royale come from. Jack Johnson comes from that.
Right.
So imagine you got to fight 10, 15 dudes you don't know who you're fighting, and you got to survive that.
You got to survive it.
Jack Johnson used to be the one that was coming out of that. So,
man.
And they used to call him, he's original, the Ghost.
Yeah.
When you hear, Drew Bundini going Ghost in the house, Ghost in the house, he talking about Jack Johnson.
Yeah, man.
He talking about Jack Johnson. So, rest in peace to the great, to the great Jack Johnson from Albertson, Texas.
Was it? I thought he was born in Alabama and moved to Texas.
No, Galveston, Texas.
Okay.
Galveston, Texas. Yeah.
Okay.
Jack
Yeah, I've been through there one time. But you ready to talk about this weird history of the shooting guard position for the New York Knicks?
Well, yes and no. I want to check the temperature and how good you feel after getting that win.
I don't want to talk about that shit. I ain't want to talk about, man. Look, man, it's a bunch of things. I would rather keep talking boxing, bro, than talk about that mess going on with the Knicks right now. And I got the reason why I'm a little bit late is because I had some stuff going on, and then I got a celebrity phone call this morning. Mm-hmm. So that made my day. How a celebrity call your personal phone? You're like, yo,
okay, all right,
what in the world's going on? Okay. So I'm screaming like a little teenage guy. I can't believe it's real. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But whatever. Okay. And then I had some other stuff. Actually, I did research for year in history 1985 for the New York Knicks. So that's what I was doing, so what I was doing was gathering that, and maybe we can do that next week.
So let's start Let's start right there.
Nah, man, because I already done
1985.
I already
1985 or summer, another number. Damn with the funky drummer.
Yeah, man. So I'll be super prepared next week with Knicks year in history 1985. Okay. Next week we'll whip that out, because I actually was writing stuff down, man, and was preparing slides. And then, but if you want, since we only gonna do a short show, we could do this weird history of Knicks shooting guards, because I know you sent me the names of some, and I was like, this dude said Iman Shumpert.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. Us as Knicks fans, when we look into our trials and tribulations in positions, it's always point guard, center, or center, point guard.
Right.
Where we never focus on the other positions that quite possibly might have been reasons why we didn't get to the mountaintop since 73. Right. And I thought about this, and I was like, looking, especially during the beginnings of really my time as a fan, some of the shooting guards, and I didn't want to touch all of the shooting guards, respect to Pearl, respect to Sprewell, respect to Allen Houston. I was looking at a couple of guards that I thought that that when we got them, the trajectory was supposed to change with them on the roster, right? Starting with Gerald Wilkins. Here's a name we really touch on. Gerald Wilkins was what, a second round pick after we drafted Pat in 85.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I wanted to touch on the whole 85 thing, because he's a part of that history.
Right.
He's a second round pick that.
And yes, he is Dominique Wilkins' brother.
Yes. Yeah, claim to fame, Dominique Wilkins' brother, just as athletic. It's in the genes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
His first year with the Knicks, I think off the top of my head, I want to say he averaged 12 points. Off the top of my head. He averaged 12 points. By his second, I think by the end of his second year, he was averaging like 19 points off the top of my head, if I remember correctly. And it seemed like he was going places because he had the crazy ups. He was faster than most shooting guards at that time in the league.
Yeah.
His one fall, he could defend, and his one fallback was he could not shoot.
Yeah.
He was not a good jump shooter, right? And he used to do all kinds of crazy things to try and work on his jump shot. Like I remember him taking jump shots while sitting in a chair
Yep.
to work
Yep.
on his form.
Yep.
And I used to say, well, Gerald, you can't bring a chair out to the court during the game.
Yep.
So how is this actually working for you? You know, your thoughts, Gerald Wilkins.
So let me do this first. Right? Let me do this first. All right. So these are Gerald Wilkins numbers. I'm gonna blow these up a little bit so we can see them. Oh, maybe too big. Maybe a little too big. I only want to focus on the Knicks years anyway. All right.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
correct. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
First year, 11.5. Second year, 16.3.
Yeah.
Third year, 16.3 again. And then he tails off from there for his Knicks years.
Right. And the reason why his numbers tailed off is a different story. We'll get to another
Right.
shooting guard. But the thing about Gerald Wilkins is this. What I remember about Gerald Wilkins is a dude that played absolutely as hard as a player can play. Right? That's what I remember about Gerald Wilkins, right? I'm talking about a dude that legit played. He gave in 7 seasons with the Knicks, he gave it his absolute all with the Knicks. Points, the points and stuff, all that stuff, okay. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Points and all. But he played in a shooting guard / center era, right? And the only thing missing from his arsenal was a jump shot. But everything else he seemed to do well. Right? Now his life after basketball was a little up and down. You know what I'm saying? You know, his life after basketball was not perfect. I'm sure he regrets some of the stuff that happened during his life after basketball. But while he was a Knick, the one thing you can say about Gerald Wilkins is you never got cheated with Gerald Wilkins was on the floor. Right? Gerald Wilkins probably played harder than Emmanuel Quickly plays right now. Bro, maybe twice as hard as Quickly plays right now. Right? Gerald Wilkins was a ball of energy with super athleticism. Right? My only deal is, even though he played hard, he just didn't show up offensively in them big games where we needed somebody to show up offensively in them big games.
Very inconsistent. Right. I remember him having, I think was game one against Detroit after we beat Philly. I think he dropped 34. Right. And game one. And then after that, it was chippy choppy. And that was generally hit for Gerald in the playoffs or just in big games generally.
Yeah.
He lasted. The funniest thing was Gerald's career. How many years he played here? 8? He was here 7? Lot longer than he probably should have been.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he couldn't shoot. And I remember Cleveland, I think signed him after after the 91 season or after the 92 season. Cleveland signed him because he was supposedly one of these guys that they used to call the Jordan stoppers.
Yeah.
Like, look.
Yeah, he held Jordan to 40.
He held it to 40. Yeah. Like, he had a nice moment here and there. Like, he's not Michael Jordan stopper.
No.
Stop it. And I think Cleveland gave him a big deal, or gave him a decent deal for him that free agent year. Like he was like a missing piece. I'm like,
so there's a story behind that too, if you don't mind me cutting you just real quick.
Go right on in.
So Cleveland had a guard named Ron Harper, right? He was the first. He was the first born in Ohio, Mr. Basketball, all-time leading scorer for the state of Ohio. You know, they drafted him to save the Cavaliers. Imagine that, a dude born near Cleveland, drafted by Cleveland in the first round to save the Cavaliers. That story sounds so familiar. I just don't know where I heard it before. But anyway, they trade a dude. So a dude plants a story about Ron Harper, saying Ron Harper, the young Ron Harper, who was the Jordan stopper, planted a story about Ron Harper hanging out with drug kingpins and the Cleveland Cavaliers and a whole bunch of other teams had been coming off the era where drugs and such was ruining the NBA. So Gordon Gund got a whiff of the story and he was like, no, get his ass out of here. And so they trade Ron Harper to the Clippers, right? Right. And then the Cavs start missing the playoffs. And so they try to go, they need another Jordan stopper. And so in 92, they signed Gerald Wilkins.
They signed Gerald, right.
Yeah.
Right. And those are some of the things that holds franchises back.
Yeah.
Look at Cleveland.
Yeah.
Look at them from the moment they did that up until not getting lucky, but getting LeBron.
Yeah.
They were dead. They were dormant for what? 21 years?
Dead in the water, bro.
Dead in the water for 21 years.
Yeah.
They go through the Brevin Knight years.
Yeah. The DeJuan Wagner, Trajan Langdon years.
The DeJuan Wagner years.
The 400-pound Sean Kemp years.
Yeah, the 400-pound Sean Kemp, the Danny Ferry years. I remember when they had what's the coach that used to have the perm? Mike Fratello.
Fratello, yeah.
They were scoring like 60 points a game.
And then he went to Atlanta.
They were playing four corners basketball, using the shot clock to the very last second.
Yeah.
They traded
on both sides of the court.
On both sides of the court. They traded for Danny Ferry because remember when Ferry got drafted out of Duke, he wouldn't go to the Clippers.
Right.
He went overseas for like a year or two.
Yeah.
They traded for Danny Ferry as if that Danny Ferry, and I'm gonna say something. I don't care if I offend people, all right? But I'm gonna say it anyway. Being big and slow and white don't make you Larry Bird.
Right.
Okay? Right. It just makes you big, slow, and white.
Right.
Okay? Right. And for a good minute, they were going through pieces like this.
Yep.
Not just Cleveland, but just other teams. Like, you know what? Okay, he can shoot. He can shoot in his backyard.
Right.
He can shoot in college.
In an empty gym.
In an empty gym, he can shoot, right? But he's big, slow, and white.
Right.
That's it. Doesn't give him any other advantage.
That's the piece they got from Ron Harper, by the way. That's the piece they got from Ron Harper, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there.
Right. So, yes. Yeah. The Danny Ferry. Right. They traded. I remember when Ferry had the nerve to. I'm like, first of all, you're a Duke ball player. For as long as I've known Duke, we're talking about what? How many ball players ever made it anything great in the NBA at Duke? 2?
No.
3?
No, bro. Come on, man. You talk about the greatest college in basketball history.
Well, Duke, that's UCLA.
No, I was going to say Duke rivals UCLA, bro.
No, stop.
Yes.
Stop.
Not even North Carolina and Kentucky can rival Duke and UCLA.
UCLA got 12 under the Wooden years. Got 12 championships. It's over right there. That's a dynasty.
Right, but what you talking about though? Great players. You're talking about Silk Wilkes, Lou Alcindor, Bill
Yeah,
Walton,
yeah,
and three great Mount Rushmore type players. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Mm.
You can go all day with them.
Like
You can go
who?
all day with them. Duke
Really?
for a minute, and you know what? I'm glad we hit Duke because I remember that Kristen Leitner Ferry team, that first one that played against UNLV,
89.
that '89 team,
Yep.
that when UNLV spanked them, when UNLV gave it to them, right?
No. Ferry wasn't on that team. You talking about the
No,
team that lost
not
by
Ferry.
30?
I mean Hurley. Excuse me, Bob Hurley.
Yeah.
Leitner and Bob Hurley, right? Leitner, Bob Hurley, and Grant Hill, right? In
Thomas
fact,
Hill.
Thomas Hill, because
Yeah.
Grant's there the following year as a freshman,
Yeah.
right? Following year, Greg Anthony breaks his nose.
No, he broke his jaw.
Broke his jaw, right?
Yeah, broke his
He's
jaw
wearing the face
in multiple places.
In multiple places,
and
they
did
probably
not
have a
miss
better
a
team the following
game.
year.
And
They
he
probably
broke
have
his.
they probably have a better team the following year because they got a center named Spencer.
Felton Spencer.
No, not Felton. Not Felton. His name is, I can't remember his first name, but
You talking about Moses Scurry? George Ackles?
No, he took over for Ackles. Spencer took over for Ackles. The following year, their team looked like
That's
he was better.
Bro.
Was it Felton? It might have.
Yes.
You know what? I gotta double check. It might have been Felton.
You confusing him with the other Spencer that played at Louisville. You
no,
remember Louisville had a Spencer and not LaFonso Ellis.
Right, not Purvis, but I gotta look it up. But that second team was even better than their championship team. But Duke showed the heart, and they had a better team. They came back the following year and they beat UNLV. Now think about that as rematches. Both teams come back there the following year and have even a better game because that first game, UNLV spanked them so hard. UNLV is one of the great college teams that we don't talk about. We talk about the Fab Five more than we talk about UNLV. Right. The Fab Five would never won anything.
Nothing.
Right? Nothing.
Nothing.
Right? More than UNLV. So shout out to Larry Johnson, Stacey Augman, Anderson Hunt, Greg Anthony. I mean, they had a team. Oh my God. Jerry Tarkanian.
Anderson Hunt. My uncle used to rent. Hey, shout out to Uncle Sonny. My Uncle Sonny used to rent an apartment to Anderson Hunt.
They were just Jerry Tarkanian, and the NCAA, they chased that man to his grave. They chased that man out of the league. So he coached the Spurs for like a year or two.
He almost ruined Rod Strickland, bro.
Well, that's a whole nother story. I thought what's the name almost ruined Rod Strickland.
Larry Brown, yeah.
I thought Larry Brown almost ruined Rod Strickland. That's a whole nother story. But Jerry Tarkanian, for players who academically were not top flight guys that weren't going to get recruited by the Dukes and some of these top schools because academically they were like Prop 48 or even below that. Right. Jerry Tarkanian knew how to reach out to these guys.
Yeah, he knew they were.
He knew how to make it work because all he cared about was, hey, we're not asking you to be doctors.
Right.
We ain't asking you to be lawyers. We asking you to do what you do best.
Right.
You play basketball.
Right.
Stay out of trouble.
Right.
This campus has nothing but women on it. Okay. Stay out of trouble.
Sin City for a reason.
Sin City. Yeah. Yeah. So for all of those, and then when he got Larry Johnson there, for those who don't remember, Larry Johnson pre-Grandmama, Larry Johnson from 1989 to 1991, those 2.5 years was the best college ball player, hands down, even better than Christian Laettner. Larry Johnson was just a absolute freaking man-child.
Yo, I heard Charles Barkley say this, right? So Charles Barkley said, and this might have been like 1990. This is like 1990. This is when Charles Barkley was in his prime.
Right.
Charles Barkley was like, yo, this kid Larry Johnson gonna be better than me. I was like, whoa, because Charles Barkley, I remember I saw I think Charles Barkley gave a team 47 points and 25 rebounds. Charles Barkley gave a team 47 and 25. That's crazy, bro.
Larry was just, but Larry was just that good.
Yeah.
Larry was just that good. I remember Dick Vitale saying, and there was no bigger Derek Coleman fan than myself. And Derek Coleman went #1 the year before.
Right.
Dick Vitale said if Larry Johnson was here, Larry Johnson would have been overwhelmingly the number one pick. And this is before he even played a game in college. Yep. Right? This is before he even played a game. Well, for UNLV.
Yeah, because he had played junior college already.
Yeah, he played junior college. I was like, Dick, are you a real Dick? Like Derek Coleman? Syracuse Derek Coleman?
So you talking about 20 and 20 Derek Coleman?
You talking about 20 and 20 Derek Coleman?
Derek Coleman would give you Derek Coleman, and my only knock on Derek Coleman is he played when he wanted to. That's my only knock.
That and he got drafted by a losing organization, and that can do that to you.
But that happens to you.
That can do that to you when you get drafted. For me, I've always seen it as you're getting paid to be a professional. You're getting millions and millions and millions of dollars. What's better than being an athlete where you don't carry your bags, you don't cook your meals, you wake up at a certain time, you go to practice, then you go to then you go back to sleep, then you go to the game.
Right.
Like, who cares if you? To me, how I have thought, who cares if you lose or not? Right. But there's something to losing.
Bro, that's the thing. That's the thing. If you ever want to win, no matter to what extent it is, if you ever want to win over losing devastates you, bro.
It does.
Losing, like we was just talking about this last night, and I know we're talking about the weird history of Knicks shooting guards, man. But I was talking to Mr. Chester last night, right? And he was like, "Yo, Uncle Freezy, how did it feel when you lost?" And I was like, "Yo, I really don't like talk about losing. I take losses and put them in a dark place and lock it up and never think about it again, bro. I don't like losing, bro." Because he asked me about the Rockets game. He's like, "How'd y'all do last night?" And I was like, "Man, I put it in a dark place and I locked it up. And I don't ever want to talk about that Knicks Rockets game ever again." But he was like, "But y'all won." But it felt like we lost. You know what I'm saying?
It's so bad for me when you talk about losing, and I'm glad you brought that up, right? And let's roll into the good, the bad, and the ugly real quick.
Let's do it.
Let's start ugly. Let's go ugly first. Let's go ugly.
You said the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, but let's go ugly first. It's so bad for me, or it's so ugly for me that I hate playing Houston. I don't care if I win the next 30 regular season games against them. For as long as 94 has been burnt and etched, stain in my head, I hate playing Houston. Right. I hated the fact that Jeff Van Gundy hired Patrick Ewing to come and coach in Houston.
Right.
I hated seeing Pat there in the summit, having to walk by Elijah Wan's mural of him winning the 94. I remember it like I remember when they dropped the toilet paper or whatever and Pat's walking through the tunnel, and the toilet paper like hits him on the side of his shoulder, and he's looking at it, and he keeps moving. I'm like, I'd never like playing that team. I don't care how many times we beat that team going forward. If we don't beat that team in the finals,
Right.
if we don't see that team and beat that team in the finals to revenge '94, I could care less.
Bro, all I think about is Carl Herrera.
And I hate to bring this up for Knicks fans, especially who go back with us, that pain, that New York Post back page, clang, clang, clang went the title.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
but it's a lot of stuff that go into that, man. It's a lot of, like for instance, people forget that Game 7 was postponed, pushed back a day. You remember that?
Yes.
People forget about that. People forget about John Starks' grade 2 MCL sprain, right? AD. Now you get a grade 2 MCL sprain or a slight meniscus tear. Guess how many months you out for? Guess how many months you out?
You're out.
John Starks played through that, bro.
You're out.
Starks played through that.
Yeah.
Like when Jeff Van Gundy tell a story, and I'm gonna tell the story just real quick for those that don't know the real story. So the trainers go to Pat Riley and say, "Hey, Starks has a grade 2 MCL sprain." And so they're like, "Oh my God, well, we'll get Hubert Davis and Rolando Blackman ready." You know what I'm saying? Because we think, Starks gonna require either surgery or rehab that's gonna keep him out for the rest of the year. Tell John we'll holler at him next year. We appreciate him making an all-star team for us and all that. The trainer is like, "No, Starks said he gonna play." And Pat Riley is like, all year on a grade 2 MCL sprain. The trainer's like, "Yep." And so
he had a scope. He did have his knee scoped.
Yes, to drain fluid twice.
Yeah.
So the trainer is like, "Yo, not only is he said he gonna play, he still want to start." Pat Riley is like, "This dude must be crazy," and the trainer is like, "Yes." And so they played during the end of the season. They played toward the end of the season. Starks is on fire, carrying the Knicks. People think Pat Ewing carried the Knicks in '94, right? But it was a combination of Starks and Oakley carrying the Knicks in '94. Because and I know, the '94 team was not the best team of the '90s.
No.
You know what I'm saying? The '96, '97 teams and the '92 teams were better. But but Pat got more contribution from Starks and Oakley in '94.
Yeah.
Starks legit. You remember how he demolished the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs?
He cut them up. He cut them to bits.
Bro, and then the thing is even with Starks leading them down, he like, "Yo, Starks was limping so bad the last 2 weeks of the season, we're gonna have to leave him off the playoff roster. We're just gonna play Hubert Davis and Rolando Blackman." So he tells, and it's hand to the man, the story is online somewhere. He tells Jeff Van Gundy to tell Starks that he's gonna leave him off the playoff roster. And so Van Gundy is like, "What? Why are you getting me to do it?" And so Pat Riley is like, "You want your job, don't you?" And so Van Gundy is like, "God dog it." So he go in, Starks is on the training table. His knee is the size of a golf ball. I mean, a size of a softball. He go in to tell Starks at the end of the game, he's like, "Yo, I gotta tell this dude in a public place in case this dude flip out." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So he go in to tell Starks. And Starks is like, Van Gundy is like, "Yo, I got something to tell you." And it's like 10 people in the training room. Like when him and Starks was in there by himself, he like, hey John, how you doing? And then when the training staff come in, he like, "I'm glad y'all came in here. John, I got something I gotta tell you." And he was like, he got ready to tell him that the Knicks are gonna leave him off the playoff roster. Right? And Starks looking crazy is like, "Yo, what you got to tell me, coach?" and And so he was like, hey man, we'll see you in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And then Van Gundy go back to tell Pat Riley, like, yo, hey, coach, I couldn't tell him, yo. I couldn't tell him. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a story behind, it's a long story behind the whole game 7, 2 for 18. But people just look at the 2 for 18 as the end all be all, but they don't look at the game 6 because John Starks is probably the only player, the only young Knicks player, not young, but the only player in recent Knicks history to have a shot in the air to win a championship for the city. Nobody else. Who else can you remember? Who else that's not that had played in the 70s had a shot in the air to win a championship for the Knicks?
And the thing is though, with that, and this is the bad. Throw the bad up there.
I got you.
He was feeling it in game 6.
Feeling
his fourth quarter, his end of third quarter to fourth quarter, everything he throws up is going in.
Yes.
He's feeling it. And the bad of it is he wants it so much. It's like we forgot that he kind of moved Pat out the way.
Yeah.
Right? The coach and the player are so locked together. You know, it almost reminds me of Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson at the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Where you got beast mode right there.
Yeah.
You at the 1 yard line with three shots to go.
Yeah.
You want Russell Wilson to be the hero so bad that you would forego. And mind you, have we not seen people fumble the ball at the 1 yard line? Of course, yes. Ernest Biner, Cleveland.
Yep.
You know, Jerome Bettis against the Colts.
Rashad Mendenhall, the Steelers running back.
Rashad Mendenhall. We've seen it. So it's not like it's destined.
We saw
or it's
Kurt
supposed
Warner
to happen.
throw an interception on the 1 yard line against the Steelers. Harrison running back for a touchdown. Remember that?
But there's no way I'm gonna do that, right? Because you want him to be the star so much. And there's a story I read online to draw the parallel that Riley was he's a creature of habit. He's very superstitious.
Yeah.
Especially before game day. He does everything the same, eats at the same restaurant, does everything. So he's eating at the same restaurant with his same man that he eats with. And it's like, yo, I'm sure about 2 things. And dude was like, what are you talking about? So I'm sure about 2 things going in this game tonight. I'm sure I'm going to show up, and I'm sure John is going to show up.
Yeah.
And when I heard that story, I'm like, you're sure that you're going to show up? You've injected yourself onto the floor.
Yeah.
You are somehow your presence is somehow going to transfix or transform the team to win the championship, right? You're not sure that Pat's going to play a good game, right? Obviously, you're not sure about Pat's going to play a good game because you didn't mention Pat. You mentioned yourself and John.
Yep.
So I'm moving to John. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of pressure for one guy on a bad wheel.
Yep.
To think that, well, he's gonna be the guy that's gonna win it. And that was the bad part of that, because I remember Charles Oakley telling this story years ago. He's never told it again, but I heard him say it. He said in one of their final timeouts in game 7, and Knick fans, this is nostalgia moment. So I know the stomach is churning. I know the blood is boiling. I know you may get a little bit more boisterous with the family right now, but
Right.
during the timeout, Ewing is telling him and Ewing, Oakley and Ewing is going, yo, he doesn't have it. Call some players for me or whatever.
Right.
And he said Riley, I guess the respect he had for Ewing or whatever, he's yelling at Ewing, but he's yelling at Ewing through Oakley. And he's telling Ewing through Oakley that this is my team and I'm going to coach this effing team the way I want to.
Right. Yeah.
And we know what happens from there.
Yeah. It's a sad thing, bro, because what's very underrated in that game 7 is the elite level defense that John Starks played on the backcourt after the backcourt had got loose.
That him and Derek Harper.
Right.
Him and Derek Harper.
Yeah.
When I see Kenny Smith, who's a native New Yorker, and it's all, I love Kenny. Kenny's a native New Yorker. Went to Archbishop.
Yeah.
Did what I'm saying? He, balled out.
Played at the University of North Carolina. Yeah.
But Derek Harper had him in his back pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
He couldn't do anything. He was so frightened. He was so scared in that whole series.
Yeah.
Until the last couple of minutes of Game 7.
Yeah.
The first 6 games.
He got loose. He got loose against Derek Harper.
Yeah. The first 6 games. The first, to quote KRS, you couldn't hear a peep from Queens.
Yeah.
From Queens.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You couldn't hear a peep out of him.
Yeah.
But that, let me move from the bad. Let's go to the good. Because I always want to touch.
Yeah, we gotta wrap up right here because you gave me a time.
All right.
Okay.
Let me go to the good real quick. The good, and I'm staying with the theme, was Anthony Mason on that team. And I don't think we've done too much on Anthony Mason since we've had the show and so forth. But rest in peace, Anthony Mason. And I don't care some of the nonsense I've heard over the years that you would have won that Big E had in the song and blah 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 whatever. I wasn't there. Yeah. I wasn't there. No one was there. Whatever. Anthony Mason, I remember him when they suspended him. Remember that? Going before the playoffs.
Yeah. And
the hockey playoffs started before the basketball playoffs. And Anthony Mason had on his Rangers jersey. Because remember, when they suspended him not just from the team, they suspended him from the building.
Yeah, all NBA activity. Yeah.
All NBA activities.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Anthony Mason bought his ticket as a regular patron, and was him and his boys, and they were walking through the garden, walking through the upper levels, right? High-fiving. They all got on Rangers gear.
Yeah.
And if you remember Mason, that season, every year, or before every game, because remember back then, we was all getting our dude type. Mm. His barber would do something Knick-related in his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So it'd be some kind. He had the Statue of Liberty one game. He had the Knicks logo.
The NYC.
NYC one game. Anthony Mason, who looked like he was carved out of granite. Right? That front court, Mason, Oakley, Ewing, Bonner. It looked like those 3-4 men that they would just be in the weight room going back and forth at each other as far as who was going to push the most. Yep, but Mason just looked like Mr. Olympia.
I loved Anthony Bonner, bro.
Oh my God. Bonner was another one of those guys that we've never even touched on. But Mason, Anthony Mason, that came from, he used to play basketball in Turkey. He went to Springfield Gardens High School. He wanted to play basketball so much that he didn't give up on his dream. He went as far as Istanbul, Turkey, to go play basketball, to finally coming full circle, coming back to New York, and to Riley and Grunfeld and Checkett's credit, that they plucked a piece, because remember, him and John got plucked the same time to be on the team and during the same era, and to see him, because remember, six guys who are undersized power forwards with a handle,
right?
Because Mason could absolutely handle the rock. So I've always wanted to touch on
say
him.
this. I think Anthony Bonner's handle was a little tighter.
No.
Than Mason.
Oh God.
Yes.
God. Oh God.
Yes.
God.
Yes.
God. No.
I'm telling, bro. The fortunate thing about us is we got to see 3 dudes in that era be 6'7" stocky dudes with handles, because Rodney Rogers weighed more than them, was bigger than them, but Rodney Rogers had more touch than them.
Yeah.
Anthony Mason had more burst and handles than them. He could play like a guard.
Yes.
Right? But Anthony Bonner, in my opinion, was slicker, bro. He was slicker with the passing and handles.
When I think of Anthony Mason for today's game, I think Draymond Green. Think Draymond Green, but without the offense running through him. They only did it the one time with Nelson. When Nelson was the coach,
he was on the verge of being a star, bro. He was on the verge.
He was on the verge. My
God! Don't forget about Anthony
Mason. He was either going to be a star or Ewing was going to kill him, because
or kill both of them.
Or kill both of them, because
the coach was going to happen. Player.
Oh yeah, Anthony Mason. Again, rest in paradise, my guy, because you maximized all you could out of your basketball talents at that time. To when you finally got traded. Because remember, he had, with the organization and things started going wrong, and he wanted to be more of a focal point. He liked Nelson. He liked the fact that Nelson took the ball out of Ewing's hand and was going to give him the ball and going to run it through him. But here's what he didn't understand: Nelson was only going to do that temporarily. Nelson's big plan was, I want Shaq.
Yep.
See, I'm playing with you right now. I think you could do a little something right now, but really and truly, I want Shaq.
Right.
And if I get Shaq, and when Shaq gets here, you're gonna go back to the supporting player that you were with Ewing.
Right.
How that would have transpired, how that would have rolled over, would have been a whole other situation. Right. But that was Nelson's plan. Nelson's plan was, I want Shaq.
Yep.
And I'm just trying to get the organization on board to move Ewing out. And then once Ewing heard about it, Ewing was like, "Oh, you trying to move me out?"
Everybody can go.
Everybody can go.
Yeah. Pat was like, so I know you strapped for time, and what we'll do, hey, Knicks fans, what we'll do is we'll push back the shooting guard talk for another show. We definitely got to do it. Well, we definitely got to do it, but we get old school Knicks, man. There's so much stuff that we could talk about, man. We go in so many different directions, man. It's easy for us to kind of, but I want to ask AD this before we wrap up, right? We'll just give it like 5 minutes, right? And AD, I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's gonna stir you up a little bit, probably frustrate you, but I'm asking you this genuinely as a Knicks fan, and as a lover of Patrick Ewing. Who is the better center all time, Patrick Ewing or Hakeem Olajuwon?
Hakeem.
Taking everything into account, organization, the player surrounding the player, the load that they had to carry offensively and defensively, the way they innovated the game. Who would you say is better? Because if you say Hakeem, we're gonna be on here for 3 hours debating, because I'm telling you,
I done said it 4 times already under my breath. It's Hakeem.
Bro, come on. No, man.
It is Hakeem. It is.
No, Hakeem Olajuwon is not the better.
I used to argue that up until 94. Right. And I would argue it on a daily basis, it seemed like. it seemed like on a daily basis, I would argue that with my friends. And they would be like, you're only arguing this because one, you're Jamaican, you're from Jamaican roots or whatever,
Yeah.
and two, Patrick Ewing is on your team.
Right.
And that was a lot to it, of course. But
what would make
I
Olajuwon
thought he
better?
was a better player.
What
For a
would make him
long time,
better?
I thought he was a better. For a long time, I thought Ewing was a better player.
He
But
is.
here's the thing, though, Freezy, and it's blasphemous to say this on camera about our organization, about our guy. Hakeem just had more in the bag than Pat. Hakeem had a way against any center. He would make you rethink what you did well.
No, not early on.
Even early on,
from
he would
85
make
to
you.
90, Pat was better.
Nah, he would. I remember a game, right, that they played in Houston. Ewing dropped 38 and 15.
Okay.
Literally. I think Hakeem might have had, I don't know, 25 and 18 or something like that, whatever. Ewing had 38 and 15. And up until the next day, I went out and I was like, look at what Ewing can do. But when you watch Hakeem Olajuwon play, and I say this because during that era between 1990 and 2000, if Michael Jordan is the best, hands down the best ball player, Hakeem Olajuwon is number 2. Because Hakeem he would make you rethink your stuff. And if you watch those finals games, those 94 finals games, and you watch Ewing offensively, Hakeem was so in his head that he couldn't, besides game 5, he couldn't get off. He couldn't get off.
Though, bro.
No,
Patrick Ewing had 18 blocks in 7 games.
Yeah, I know, but Hakeem had several games that was just, he could. He could the dream turnaround shake where he would fade. He would fade like he was a you know what when DJs are cutting the crossfader, he would fade like he was a crossfader. He would literally be in the air and he would do the dream shake and he would turn and he would be fading and it seemed like he would just fade in the air. You ever heard that Minnie Riperton song where she does like her octaves go way out?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
like because she's a 5-level octave singer and you can hear it like a minute and a half later. That's kind of seemed like his move. He would just fade out, and then when he would spin around you, he did it to Ewing in the finals. Ewing went left. He went left. He spun around him and dunked on him, and Ewing was somewhere over there. He did it to David Robinson. This is no slight on Ewing, and I'm gonna let you get in your bag. This is no slight on Ewing, but there is no way I can sit here and say that Ewing is a better player than Hakeem.
This is a slight on Ewing. So first of all, let me start the disagreement with the second best player in the 90s was not Olajuwon. The second best player in the 90s was Shaquille O'Neal. Let me first. That's what.
Gosh, no.
Get out of here, man. Come on, AD.
Gosh,
come on,
no.
AD. Give my man some credit. Give Shaquille O'Neal some credit, bro. Did you see Shaq numbers in the 90s, bro?
Shaq's
numbers in
men
the
lie,
90s,
women lie, numbers lie.
Shaq numbers in the 90s are so ridiculous.
Shaq got swept 3 times. Shaq got swept between 94 and 2001. Shaq got swept out of the playoffs, I think it was 4 times. Right. One of them in the finals.
Yeah.
To who?
Olajuwon, who was in his prime.
Okay.
Right? Here's the thing.
Hard. I know it's hard. I know.
Here's the thing with Pat Ewing. So from 84 to 90, Olajuwon's career, he was a very good player, all-star. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't a difference maker. Pat Ewing carried a franchise that historically is the hardest franchise in professional sports to carry. Not just the NBA, not just in American sports, internationally. The Knicks, in my opinion, is the hardest team in professional sports everywhere around the globe to be the star player of, right? And I know people that disagree with me. Oh man, the Cowboys, man, the Yankees. Nah, bro. Because if you the best if you the best player for the Yankees, you got celebrity status, regardless if you winning or not, right? If you the best player of the Dallas Cowboys, like give you an example. Tony Romo is still eating, bro, and Tony Romo ain't won nothing with the Cowboys.
Yes,
and he's still eating, bro.
Yes,
he's still eating. But in terms of the New York Knicks, bro, the daily grind of being the best player of the man. Listen, Julius Randle is going through it right now. I
give you that, Freezy, but we're just talking about. Put that aside for a second.
But now I got another point that I'm gonna get to.
Okay, go ahead.
I got another point that I'm gonna get to, right? And back in the day, the schedules before it's all even, you played everybody the same amount of games. Back in the day, the Eastern Conference was a gambit, bro. Everybody was good. In the Western Conference, you had 6 good teams and everybody else was trash. Everybody else. You telling me about Elijah Wan numbers against the Vancouver Grizzlies? I don't want to hear it, bro. I don't want to hear his numbers. I don't want to hear Hakeem Olajuwon numbers against the rebuilding Dallas Mavericks with Jason Kidd and Jamal Mashburn. You know what I'm saying? Because the worst team Pat Ewing played back then was the Boston Celtics with Reggie Lewis.
Yeah, but he also played a horrible Charlotte team and a horrible Miami team.
A horrible Charlotte team with Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning?
No, this is before they came in. This is before. Remember, they weren't that before they came in. Just like Miami wasn't that. Miami had Glenn Rice and Ronnie Cycli and Pat used to devour those teams. You see what I'm saying?
But those teams
both conferences had, it's teams
really,
that
bro,
should
the Clippers, bro. Name the starting five for the Clippers back then. You can't.
Okay,
what am I childhood?
I mean, I can name a couple. Remember the Clippers, especially under Mark Jackson. When Larry Brown was coaching them, they went to the playoffs. They did go to the playoffs.
One of my childhood friends started for them, bro. I don't know if you remember this name. One of my childhood friends, we used to play ball on Garfield Avenue in Jersey City. A dude named Terry DeHare.
Absolutely.
I know people probably
Terry
don't remember
DeHare out of Seton Hall?
Yes.
Absolutely.
He should have went to Duke. Him and Bobby Hurley should have went to Duke together. But he decided to go to Seton Hall. All 3 of us from Jersey City, New Jersey, right? Okay, but anyway, man, Olajuwon used to eat.
Freezy. Back to you. No, let me ask you something. You really think that Shaq was a better ball player in the 90s?
I think first of all, Pat was
if
better.
If you said the 2000s,
nah.
If you said the 2000s, I'll roll with you because Shaq wins 3 championships in the 2000s. In the 90s, better than Olajuwon in the 90s? No, Freezy, no.
Yes, man.
No. Shaq is not even better than Karl Malone in the 90s.
Shaq led the NBA in scoring twice in the 90s, bro.
That's fine.
I'm looking at the numbers right now. Shaq, oh my God. Shaq averaged 12 rebounds a game in the 90s, bro. Shaq legit averaged 27 and 12 in the 90s.
I'll give you that.
He led the NBA in field goal percentage 4 years, out of the 8 years he played in the 90s.
He's 7'3" and he doesn't move anywhere past 5 feet from the basket. You're gonna lead the NBA
it doesn't matter. That's like saying, well, Olajuwon had great footwork. Of course he was gonna do the dream shake. But
Olajuwon had everything else in his game. Olajuwon was this is how good he is, especially on the other side of the ball. This is where Shaq can't be in a conversation with those two guys.
This is why I don't pay your time limit thing no attention. You be like, yo, I just gotta go, man.
Because you don't got me riled up. You don't got me riled up
but
into
this is what old school Knicks
meat and
says.
potatoes basketball conversation here.
This is what old school Knicks says, though, bro.
Yeah, but you've got me riled up into real. This is Elijah Wan could guard the perimeter.
Right. Shaq could guard the post.
The only perimeter Shaq could guard was the perimeter of Benihana's or McDonald's.
Watch it be a fat joke. I knew it was gonna be a fat joke, bro. I knew it was gonna be.
And he wasn't even a fat guy then in the 90s.
No, but he was 298.
He could not. He was. Do you remember? And as we slide on in, let's slide into Shaq for a second here. Do you remember how bad Utah used to abuse him with the pick and roll when he first got to LA?
Yes.
I mean, Karl Malone would absolutely salivate when they would run the pick and roll, and somehow, some way, Greg Ostertag would be some way to the left or to the right,
wide open.
And Shaq would have to guard Karl Malone in that pick and roll. Yeah. Shaq would just stand there. He was just like, all right, nothing I can do. I'm just gonna stand right here.
Yeah, you got me.
You got me. I'm just gonna stand right here.
Yeah.
Because why? He wasn't gonna leave out the lane because he knows he was in no man's island going out of the lane.
Okay,
you can't put a man.
Fair, bro.
It is fair because if we're talking about the totality of the basketball player with not just points and rebounds, but in everything. Like, if I leave my man, can you pick up that man over there? Can you ask Ewing or Elijah Wan to pick up that man on the corner right over on the wing and not feel like as soon as they see him, they're going to be like, aha.
I got you.
You can't do that with Shaq. You can't. Shaq, even young Shaq, you can't do that with.
Shaq was better than Elijah Wan, bro.
I think it's a Jersey thing. No. I think right here it's a Jersey thing because you Jersey, Shaq's Jersey. I think it's a Jersey thing.
Hey, so let me tell you my Shaq story right quick, right? So I'm gonna just tell this. So I went to PS15, Whitney M. Young Junior School in Jersey City, right? Shaquille O'Neal went to PS41, right? Mm-hmm. Right? So he went to PS41. And we played them, right? The year before. AD, listen, I'm going to toot my own horn. And it's going to sound so egregious. But so the year before, we played 41. And I get so lucky, bro, that they leave me open twice for 3-pointers. And I should back then. Okay, so back then, this is like, what is this? Like 80. This is like 84, 85. So they leave me open, and I'm wearing number 20 for my favorite player in college, Chris Mullin. Right? And so that's the reason why I want to talk about 85, because in 1985, I actually wanted to draft Chris Mullin. So anyway, so they leave me
over Ewing?
Bro, yeah, but listen, that's another show. We got to talk about it on another show.
Oh my God. Were you drinking? Were you inhaling Quaaludes?
Bro, you gotta hear me out. You gotta hear me out on this, because
I think you had the Wolf of Wall Street Quaaludes. You remember the scene? The Wolf of Wall Street.
The uppers.
They both popped the uppers that were sitting there since 85. Since 73. The lemon heads. They had the lemon uppers.
Yeah,
that was sitting there. You wanted to draft Mullin over Ewing.
I'm gonna get to that, but I want to tell this story real quick. So we destroyed them, man. I lead the team, bro. I scored 8 points. I led the team in scoring because I hit 2 lucky threes. And I'm talking about back then. I used to shoot the grandma shot. You know how you start your shot on your hip and you push it. Right. So I banked 2 threes off the backboard, bro. And trust me, it sounded like I banked them off the back. Bam! You know what I'm saying? So I get lucky and hit 2 threes, and I hit 2 free throws at the end of the game. So I lead the way with 8 points, right? The next year, they have this kid that's like 6'7", 250, right? A dude named Shaquille, right?
Right.
And mind you, so I'm about 5'6", 106, right? And I walk down to the other end of the floor, and I'm looking at a dude that's 6'7", 250. Now think about what I'm telling you. Now. I'm 5'6", 106. This
He's
dude
a
is,
foot. He can eat you. He's a foot taller than you. He's twice your body weight.
And I'm older than him.
Mm.
Right? And I'm older than him, right? So all the coaches are down there, like, son, just grab the ball, jump real high, and dunk it. All the coaches, the coach from 40 PS41, PS15, PS32, and PS14 are all there, right? Because this kid just show up out the blue. He just, his mom must have moved to Jersey City or something and whatever. And
right.
So they're like, son, just jump up real strong and throw it down. You know what I'm saying? This is they trying to, this is like back in the mid 80s, right? They're like, throw it down like Jabbar. And you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Throw it down like Moses Malone. And he like, who? This dude don't even know basketball, bro. Right? So this dude, no lie, we wind up beating them, right? We wind up beating them. I don't score 8 points this time, right? But we wind up beating them. This dude finished the game with 44 rebounds and 6 points. AD, he couldn't dunk at 6'7". Right? And then I'll fast forward all these years later, I see this dude on TNT, and I'm like, bro,
breaking backboards. You see this
yes,
hammering the rip down the stanchion.
And Jersey City is a basketball factory, bro.
Right.
David Rivers, a dude that was on the block with us from Jersey City. You know what I'm saying? He got drafted in the first round by the LA Lakers. Right?
Yes.
Raphael Addison, a dude that we used to kick it with, we used to play baseball with us. He wound up starting at Syracuse University.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I just remember, I just mentioned Terry DeHare, right?
Yeah.
Then you got your Roger Rhodes, you got your Bobby Hurleys,
absolutely.
You got your Uncle Freezies, you got all these people that came from Jersey City, right? And then this dude that come through for like this 1 year at 6'7", 240, couldn't even dunk a basketball. They gave him his hand, bro. Shaq, the dude, he could palm your head, bro. The dude hands at I think how old we were. We were like, I might have been 12. He might have been 11, 10, something like that. 10 years. No, I might have been like 13. He might have been like 12. We was like in the same, but listen. My man was so physically imposing, bro. And then like when we would be playing like little kids, like so I fouled him. I raked him across his arm, and it's bro. I raked him across his arms, right, and almost broke my wrist. The dude was that strong, right? And then he was like a big kid, like we started playing dodgeball or whatever. After why the coaches putting all the names, they signed the cards. We throwing basketballs at each other. Right. And he running around like he faster than us. You can't run from him.
No, he was he was a behemoth.
Bro, this dude, you ain't never seen. I've seen my Uncle Leon was 6'7", right? My Uncle Leon, God bless dead, it was about 6'7". He was a Marine, right? So I was used to being around tall people.
Right.
But not tall. Bro, he was like bro, you ain't never seen nothing so big in your life. at our age. You know what I'm saying? He like 6'7", 250. He like, Miss Smith, can I have another chocolate milk? Bro, you ain't never seen nothing like that in your life. But anyway, so if I'm partial to Shaq, it's because I saw that version, and then I saw the '90s version, which is like,
oh, he was. I mean,
how did you even get here? I remember when you used to be this.
Yeah, he was just. It was hard for him not to explode because he was just one of those athletes that if he didn't become who he became, it'd been like, really?
Yeah.
How could you not? Like, I remember seeing him leading the break in Orlando.
Right.
Like, with ease. And in Orlando, he's what, 290? He might have been a listed 290, more like 310, 320, right. But slender or slenderish for him, you know, just that force. And once he came in the league, I started looking at Pat different. I'm like,
yeah, like Pat, you need to get in the weight room.
You see this guy right here?
Yeah, yeah.
Like him.
Pat, you in shape. Pat, you in shape. You in basketball shape.
But you in basketball shape, but he country strong.
Yeah.
He fresh out the bed. Just
he woke up like that.
He woke up like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you're gonna do with this kid.
Right.
I remember when I saw him at LSU, him and Stanley Roberts, and I had no idea. Like when you watch him at LSU, like, yeah, with him and Chris Jackson that first year, I had no idea that you can't predict that he's gonna be in your conference against your guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he literally dropped in our conference against our guy, and all of a sudden Ewing's fadeaways started being not just fadeaways, started being like literally like I'm facing.
They went from 10-footers to like 19-footers.
Yeah. Oh, because you couldn't do nothing with him in the lane.
You're right. Right.
You couldn't do nothing with mind you, Ewing is 7'1", Shaq is 7'2", but Ewing is 7'1", 240, maybe 250. Shaq is 7'2", 310, 320 in his young prime.
And springy.
That's and explosive. You know what I'm saying? Like when he cracked the stanchion on the back and he bring it down and it looked like it was a cartoon. Yeah. It looked like something. It's like I thought they fortified that. Right. I thought they fortified that since Darryl Dawkins. Like,
yeah.
Look, it went.
He broke it down, bro.
He just actually, like that's out of this world. That's wilt strength. You know what I'm saying? That's just crazy. And that's no disrespect to Shaq, but even with all of those physical tools of dominance, he had a lot of shortcomings. He had a lot of his own shortcomings.
Free throws.
Not
a willing passer at first. Not a
willing passer at first.
He was a great passer,
no
but
left
not
hand.
Willing. Right.
Yeah. No left hand, and
everything was a dump.
That winning mentality, it took him to get with Phil Jackson and get to the Lakers organization to take his military upbringing with his dad
and discipline
and combine the two to then have some kind of discipline. Because remember, the things that God rested did with Kobe would come into the locker room and Shaq would have like a bag of Big Macs there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kobe eating like a vegan, Shaq eating like he eats vegans.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing that the unfair part to Kobe's thing is, bro, Shaq is an endomorph and Kobe is an ectomorph, right? Right. Shaq is you can't treat a big man like a little man. Their bodies are just different.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. While Kobe can go eat 3 Big Macs and not gain an ounce, Shaq could
Right.
think about those 3 Big Macs and
gain
gain
10
5 pounds. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Easy.
It's just what Shaq carried more muscle
Yeah.
than Kobe. Right? It's just what it is. That's why when you see guys like Anthony Mason, when you see guys like Zion, Anthony Mason, it's a genetic miracle that they could do stuff at like Zion at 285, being faster and jump higher than dudes that are 185 is a marvel.
He's another one that's from that, as to your point, that's from that granite cut. But here's the thing with Zion. I think we mentioned this maybe like a month or two ago. Your DNA is one thing, but your work and desire is another thing.
Yeah.
You see, because now every time I look up, I don't see you on the court.
Right.
You see, I see them explaining why you're not on the court. And that's dangerous for you now.
Right.
Because now you're now in your 3rd season, and you spent more time being injured than you spent on the court.
Right.
And it's either you don't want to be there with the organization, which is what I'm sensing. Okay. But if you don't want to be there, remember, the other teams around the league are looking at this.
Right.
You see, there's a certain level.
Would you trade for him right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
That's what I wanted.
I said no 6 months ago, but that was 6 months ago.
Right. I would tell you that. I would tell you this, bro. I've been watching the NBA for real. I'm talking about hardcore since like 1980. Right. I had been a fan of the NBA since before that, but I had started tracking other teams in the NBA since like 1980. Right. So, little kid, you know what I'm saying? You know how you get the Sports Illustrated and you should, you know what I'm saying, cut out the magazine clip.
That's right.
I remember the first time I saw Isaiah Thomas play for the Pistons in this big football arena. Right? You remember the old place the Pistons used to play? It looked like they was playing in an old opera house.
That's Joe Louis Arena.
Joe Louis Arena, yeah. I was like, yo, this dude right here is unlike anything else we've ever seen. I remember saying that about Isaiah Thomas, right? Because the way he dribbled was not the old Clyde Frazier dribble. No, it wasn't the JoJo White dribble. It wasn't the Tiny Archibald dribble. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. It was like this dude had his basketball on a string.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now he could do stuff with the ball. Like he'll move them shoulders, bro. And your reflexes took you out of the play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you reacted to him and he was doing stuff, bro. And you like, yo, this dude here is different. The first time I saw Michael Jordan, when I saw him at North Carolina, I was like, he all right. But then when I saw him with the Bulls, when I saw him take off and dunk on the Atlanta Hawks, and it sounded like it sounded like he was at the
entire Atlanta Hawks team.
Yeah, yes.
He dropped it so hard. Poor Tree Rollins. Tree Rollins done backed up, double backed, fell down, got up. It's like, did he hit the entire team? Because they
didn't think he was gonna jump from back there.
Yeah.
And so when I saw Jordan, I was like, yo, this kid is different. The first time I saw Magic Johnson, I was like, you know what?
Just different.
This dude right
LeBron,
here.
Just different.
Right. And so
the same thing.
And so when I saw Zion, I'm like 6'6", 285. And this dude got a 48-inch vertical at 285.
But he's in a danger zone, Freezy.
But I think he got to get down. He got to get down to at least 260, 265.
I think 260. 265 is his playing weight that he has
to. Heavy. That's still heavy now.
Yeah, that's still heavy. But you got to remember, muscle weighs more than fat.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I got you.
So if it's defined So what? That's just you being explosive.
Right.
He's gotta go from being, do I want to be Charles Barkley or do I want to be Oliver Miller?
Right. Right.
You see?
Right.
And that's the tightrope. You know, you gotta take that, you gotta spend the money the way LeBron spends the money on his body year round. He didn't just start doing this today. He's been doing it
Right.
for longevity.
Hey, LeBron is 255, right?
Yeah, for
Does LeBron
longevity.
James look 255?
No.
LeBron James does not look 255, bro.
No, at all.
That's what I'm saying.
So for that young man, he's gotta take his nutrition and his off-season workout plan seriously. Like, or else you're gonna be KP. You're gonna be here every year coming in hurt.
Rehabbing.
Time. Yeah. And then you're gonna keep getting traded because teams are not gonna understand you. Teams are not gonna care about you to understand that there's untapped potential here. All they're gonna think about is, are you going to be on the floor?
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Are you gonna be on the floor?
Right.
Right? Are you spending more time in mojos, clucking bucket? You know, getting the 30 piece?
Right.
Right? Or are you gonna be out here like really taking your game and your nutrition in, because you're not gonna be 23 forever. You're not gonna be 24 forever. You're just not.
Right. And it's the reason why I say Mike Tyson would have beat Ali. Right.
Oh God.
That's the reason why.
What is going on with you today?
So here's the thing. What the thing is, people think Mike Tyson's greatest skill was power, right? Mike Tyson's greatest skill.
Ali would have knocked him out. Ali would have knocked him out in 7 rounds.
No,
Ali would have knocked him out in 7 rounds.
I would have. Listen, I will give Ali the big ring and the rope-a-dope
7 rounds
and outside, because that's how he beat Foreman. He beat Foreman with a big ring, rope-a-dope, and outside.
7 rounds.
Because if it was a standard ring, regular ropes, and indoors, Foreman would have washed Ali.
Remember something.
Remember
something. And as a boxer, you should know this. Boxing is not just skill. It's not just, who punches harder, who throws the most punches, whatever.
I know this. Yeah, it's not. Yep.
It's the mental game, right?
And heart.
And heart, right? The boxer always outdoes the puncher.
Right.
Tyson, even young Tyson, was lazy when you put him in, when you folded up his arms.
Right.
He wouldn't punch out of that.
Right.
Ali being 6'3.5", 6'4", Tyson being 5'10", maybe.
Yeah.
Once Ali hits him with those 4, 5, 6, and then yokes him up, whatever, he's done. He's
See,
done.
That's where you're wrong.
He's done.
That's where you're wrong. Ali not hitting Tyson with 4, 5, 6.
He's hitting him with 4, 5, 6.
He's
done.
In a row.
No. 4, 5, 6
No.
in a row.
No.
The best of, and I hate using this example. Look at Tyson against Buster Douglas. Look at Buster Douglas.
Why you gonna pick out the look at Ali versus Ken Norton.
Because you can't take this away. No, here's the problem here. You can't take this away from Buster Douglas, just like you can't take it away from Tyson because he came in out of shape. Look at Buster Douglas that night. His boxing ability that night. That night, Buster Douglas looked like a combination of Ali and Holmes that night. A boxer that can push you off, and you 5'10", I'm 6'4", I'm mauling you, I'm pushing you off, I'm not letting you get off, right? That boxer that night, put Ali in that right there. That's not even going to 10-11.
Did you
He
see Joe?
eventually
Did
knocks
you
him
see Joe
out.
Frazier hit Ali with a left hook?
Ali was up by the count of 3.
If Mike had hit Ali with that left hook, Ali would have still been laying.
And Joe hit him in the 15th round. Tyson ain't getting to the 15th round.
So let me tell you my Tyson point, because you overreacted to it. Let me tell you my Tyson point.
You know, because you do these things to make me overreact. You do these things to make me overreact.
The point to Tyson is Tyson's greatest skill was fitness. That was his greatest skill. His greatest skill was fitness and athleticism. Not the power was tremendous. The speed, Mike Tyson, hand to the man, Mike Tyson has top 10 hand speed of all time in his prime.
Yes.
Because it's not the fact that he was powerful. Ernie Shavers was powerful, but you could see Ernie Shavers coming from down the street.
Yes.
Mike's hand speed was so fast. It wasn't that you got hit. It's just you never saw it coming. You couldn't brace for it because you didn't see it coming. And while Ali hands are faster than Mike Tyson, right? What I'm telling you is Mike Tyson's hand speed is nothing to sneeze at. Plus, his fitness and athleticism was different. Mike Tyson, Ali could jab all he want. Ali could do the side shoulder jab, like bam, 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 bam. He could fire him off, and Mike would be ducking him with head movement. When you ask who's the greatest defender out of those two, I might almost say Mike is the greatest defender of those two. Because I had a Mike Tyson. I still have the Ali one. I still have the Ali defense tape of his footwork. You know, float like a butterfly. Angles. You know what I'm saying? What Ali did, and he changed the game.
Did you watch Ali? Did you watch Ali Liston 1?
Yes.
Ali Liston 1 is a
masterclass.
Is a mirror of Ali Tyson. Of what Ali Tyson would look like.
Sonny Liston was too slow, bro. Sonny Liston too slow. He was a brawler.
Okay, but we're talking about his pursuit. We're talking about his ability. Remember, Sonny Liston has, I think, on record the longest reach as a heavyweight champ with a sledgehammer jab.
No, it's Tyson right? Fury now, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Right, but I think at that time it was him. With a sledgehammer jab at the same height. Once Ali realized that when he gets in the ring with him, it's like, I'm 4 inches bigger than you, right? I'm younger than you. I'm faster than you. All of a sudden, he lets go of all of his inhibitions, just like how Buster Douglas let go. Buster for different reasons. Buster because his mother passed away, and he got this energy and this.
He had nothing to lose.
He had nothing to lose. And it's the same kind of thing for Ali. It's like, you know what? You're not that big. Buster's looking at Tyson, going, "You're not that big."
Yeah, and Mike wasn't even in shape.
And you're not in shape, but that's not my fault.
Yeah.
Bumpy not in shape. That's not my fault. That's your fault. Yeah. Right. Yeah. My greatest performance has nothing to do with your inability to get your inability to get in shape. This is my greatest performance, and you look at Buster's greatest performance and look at Ali's performance against Liston. It's a similar effect of how they would be against that same opponent. You can't do nothing with me.
AD, I know that. So what I'm telling you, the Liston fight, I'm gonna tell you where Sonny Liston lost. So for one, he slept on the kid, right?
Yes.
Because he beat Floyd Patterson. Remember Floyd Patterson?
Knocked Floyd
destroyed Patterson. Floyd Patterson.
Both fights.
Who was like kind of like the archetype, you know, a real agile heavyweight.
Cruiserweight.
Yeah. All right. So the thing Sonny Liston didn't do, one, he didn't cut the ring off. Right? As a boxer, like I know what cutting the ring off is, because when I used to fight, the other team's corner used to always yell, "Cut the ring off," right? Because what happens is when you have an agile fighter versus a brawler, The agile fighter wants the brawler to come out in deep water. You know what I'm saying? Make this fight go to distance, right? Make this fight go to distance. You know what I'm saying? Win on the cards. The brawler, right, wants to stop it. He don't want to put the fight in the judge's hands, right?
Right.
And so Sonny Liston never cut the ring off. You never saw his outside foot outside of Ali's outside foot. When you go back and watch the fights, when brawlers lose to punchers, they never cut off the ring. And what that does is the puncher, the point man, and I call them point men, like myself and others that have done it. The point man, all we want to do is point you. I don't care about knocking you out. I just want to win the round, right? I just want to stack these rounds up. I want to bank these rounds. Kind of Pernell Whitaker. You know what I'm saying? Stack these rounds, right? Sonny Liston never cut the ring off. And Ali gave him multiple.
You do realize that in order to cut the ring off, you still gonna eat some, right?
Understandable.
You're gonna eat a lot.
But when you cut the ring into a third, right? When you cut the ring into a third, right? Think about the corner, right? Think about the corner in about 5 feet out of each corner. If I got you in that space, if we fight in a phone booth, right? Then the power punches versus the point man power punches are gonna have a different impact.
Yeah, right? But understand something, and I'm just to your analogy, to your point. Look at Leonard Hearns.
Right.
At somewhere between the 5th and the 6th round, the fight changed.
Right. You know why? You know why though, right?
Yeah, Hearns
was winning. Hearns was winning the fight against Sugar Ray.
Hearns was winning, and he got rocked for the first time.
Leonard rocked him because he was losing the fight.
He was losing the fight, but he got rocked for the first. Somewhere in the 5th or the 6th round, Hearns for the first time got rocked, right? And
in his corner panicked. And he panicked, and his corner panicked.
Right, and from there on in, he then got on his bicycle.
And
Leonard then became the aggressor.
Right.
Hearns then became the backpedaler, the mover, the boxer, whatever.
Yeah.
By the time Leonard caught up to him again, which is
the 8th round.
No, from 6. Leonard wins. I'm gonna say Leonard wins 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, or maybe 6, 7, 8. Right? From 8,
I would give them all 4 of those rounds: 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Right. From 8, 9, 12 into 13, Hearns is on his bicycle, and Hearns had Leonard's eye looking like a grapefruit.
Yep.
Because in order for Leonard to cut the ring and to pursue, Hearns didn't stop boxing.
No, he didn't.
Hearns has an 82-inch reach.
Yeah.
Hearns peppered that ass for 4 rounds.
I understand that.
In order to cut the ring, you are going to eat some leather.
But you know what Hearns was doing the whole time he was peppering Sugar Ray, right? He was burning up his fuel tank.
Yes.
Right? So by the time Sugar Ray was like, I'm just wearing them down, I'm taking this, I'm eating this, right? Because Hearns didn't want to throw a power punch to get counted, right? So Hearns didn't want to throw power punch. When he threw power punches, he threw it off his back foot, right? Instead of off his front foot, right? Getting your butt down and pivoting on your front foot. He didn't do that. He was throwing power punches off his back foot because Sugar Ray was cutting the ring off. And those punches to the body was wearing down this dude, you know what I'm saying, that was initially the aggressor. And what I'm telling you, in the Sonny Liston Ali fight, Sonny Liston couldn't cut the ring off because this dude was the fastest man he had ever been in the ring. Probably the fastest man he had ever seen.
Yes.
Right?
And he's bigger than you.
And you had no answers.
Yes.
No answers for it. You know what I'm saying? It's like when dudes used to fight Manny Pacquiao. they thought they were fast until they got in the ring with Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes thought they were fast until they got in the ring with Mayweather. Arturo Gatti, I'm tough.
Oh my God. Oh
I'm
my
tough
God.
until you get in the ring with Mayweather.
Oh my God. Rest in peace, Arturo Gatti. Oh my God.
So shout out to Jersey City Boxing. But listen, what I'm saying is
absolutely this. Gotti's from Jersey, right?
Yes. Jersey City. Yeah, Buddy McGirt. The Buddy McGirt.
Buddy McGirt. Oh my God. Buddy McGirt.
Yeah, but the thing
Dirt
about
McGirt.
Yes, man. That's what I'm saying. So, but the thing I'm saying about Ali Tyson is Mike Tyson puts on a master class of cutting off the ring.
Mike's not gonna cut the ring the way how you think he would cut the ring, because you know why? Mike moves and follows. And when you get close to him, just like when he got close, just like him and Holyfield 1 and 2, Holyfield would maul him.
Hey, Holyfield, listen, man, I know where you're going.
His arms are shorter. Remember, Tyson, against all his opponents, his arms are shorter. When you get close to him, Holyfield, especially that first one or even that second fight, he would maul the hell out of him. Like, you're a big man, like a big person against a smaller person will normally use that big advantage. And then, okay, look at young Tyson.
Holyfield's the worst heavyweight defensive fighter ever.
Okay, I'll give you that. No problem.
The worst defender ever.
But probably the second biggest heart.
But the toughest, yeah.
But look at Tyson against Bone Crusher Smith. Right? Bone Crusher did not want to fight. All Bone Crusher wanted to do was to last. And because he's 6'5" and Tyson is 5'10", 5'9", he could last because why? As soon as he comes in to throw 4, 5, 6, I'm gonna hold him. I'm gonna maul him.
Yeah, it's the blueprint.
That's the blueprint.
But the thing I'm saying about the Holyfield fight, and Mike Tyson's camp is absolutely right. Holyfield was headbutting Mike Tyson the whole time, and
absolutely,
they didn't call it. And the fact that the referee, and when you go back and watch those fights, it's not even accidental. Because if me and you, like for instance, you throw a punch, you start your combination, I think it's one punch. I dodge the one punch thinking it's one punch and it's a combination. Me and you might come up and headbutt each other. It happens, bro. It happens, bro. I remember having all this so sore I couldn't even eat for like 3 days, right? Not from punches, but from headbutts. It happened, right? But Holyfield would grab Mike and just headbutt like that. And Mike knew it from round 1. The game plan was to concuss Mike. Dirty. Just fight there. And Holyfield was hitting Mike on like the lower line of the belt. And listen, as like say for instance, me and you will never do this. But I'm gonna use you as an example. Me and you are boxing, right? We have an understanding that I'm only punching at skin. The referees say, punch, I'll allow punches on the belt. Me and you have an understanding, bro. We only punch in skin, right?
Hold on, Freezy. How tall are you again?
6'5".
I'm 6'2". Freezy, the moment I get a shot, the moment I get a chance to bust you in the cup, I'm busting you in the cup.
Come on, bro. Nah, come on, bro. You gotta play along. You gotta play along for that. You gotta play along, man. Just play along with the thing, right? So the thing is you and I have an understanding that me and you and I are professionals, and whether you win or lose, you want to go home safe to your family. And whether I win or lose, I want to go home safe. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, boxing is a fraternity. Dudes build up for this dislike for each other, but they don't really dislike each other. It's build up to the fight. You got to hype the fight up, right?
Right. Yes.
So the thing is Holyfield was hitting Mike on that belt line, and Mike was like, "What you doing?" Right? And then he doing like the little tap kidney punches when you see dudes tapping on the kidney. That's another dirty, like dudes that respect each other don't do that. Like when they holding, they breaking up, and you see dudes patting each other. You see somebody patting somebody on the back. That's the kidneys. Because what happens is if you get the kidneys vibrating, it slow down your blood flow. Right? It's a cheap move. It's dirty. When you see dudes do it, they always do it on the opposite side of the referee. If you notice, like if the referee is right here, they tapping you on the kidneys on the other side so the referee can't see it. You know what I'm saying? It's little things. The headbutt Holyfield was doing, the whole fight was dirty. If I was Mike, I'd have bit that joker nose off. You know what I'm saying? I'd have bit that joker lip off his face.
let me ask you this. To your point, you just say an analogy. How do you in football? How do you tackle without using your helmet?
It's tough, bro. Because your head is connected.
Impossible.
Because your head is connected to your body, bro.
Your head is connected to your shoulders. Connect your head. The head bone connected to the neck bone. The neck bone connected to the shoulder bone. Shoulder bone connected to the chest bone. It's impossible. What are we talking about here?
Bro, it's not impossible to kidney.
How do you throw a punch without your head going forward?
You're supposed to actually stay. You're actually supposed to stay on a 90 degree angle. Because when you lean forward, you weaken your defense.
No,
and when you
but what I'm saying is, as the fight goes on, right? Say the first 2-3 rounds, you still have your discipline. As the fight goes on,
you mean as you get tired,
you get tired, you're losing energy. This man don't whop you, don't hit you a couple shots in the nose, right? Okay. This man done whopped you, hit you a couple of shots to the nose or whatever. How are you going to keep your discipline for that? You're not. You can't. It's not realistic. That's my point, Freezy. But anyway, we done rolled into boxing. We done rolled all over old school Knicks. To my old school Knicks fans, you know what? My apologies, Freezy's apologies. But you know how we do sometimes. Sometimes we just roll from one to the next, from the next to the other, and back again and forth again. But I wanna pick back up to the other night's game. And for those of you who are still in the chats or whatever, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on the other night's game and just moving forward. I would like to see them interject the youth, play Grimes more. You know, I heard McBride was going to Westchester. I don't know if he made it there yet or whatever. I don't know how true that is, but I would like to see a bit more of the youth. Your thoughts? Type in. Let me know your thoughts on this, because here's my thing. I don't want to call Kemba washed. I think me and Freezy touched on this before. He's only playing, 22, 23 minutes a night. Rose is playing 22, 23, 24 minutes a night. I think you got to use the youth.
Nah, man. Come on, bro.
I think overall, Freezy, we talked about this at length on the eve of the season on why we thought this team could be something, right? And one thing what we thought was because of the ammunition that they had, the supportive staff. You got to interject. I'm not saying play Grimes 20 minutes. I'm not saying play McBride 15 minutes. I'm saying interject them. Like they should be pieces that you want to use. But even better than that, their offensive game plan is disgusting. Their offensive game plan on how they attack is disgusting.
Right.
He has got this overindulgence of Julius Randolph. You got to leave it alone, God. You got to.
Come on, bro.
Julius Randolph is a good player. You want to call him very good? You can. I'm going to say good player.
He's a star.
Those are your words, those not mine.
No, those are NBA words. He played in a game that featured all stars.
Okay. So did Joe Barry Carroll at one point. Okay. That doesn't mean much to me. Okay. You want to say that? All right. You can roll on with that. I don't think so. This over-reliance on him Okay, it's gonna get. Remember, you said to me the other day that they're tuning the coach out. They're tuning Tibbs out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they tuning Tibbs
You
out.
said that to me the other day.
Yeah.
They're tuning him out not just because of what they're doing on the court, but because of also what they're seeing. They're seeing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Ob is waiting to be a star. How about them apples?
Yeah. Okay.
Quickly is waiting to be a star. How about them tomatoes?
I feel you. I'm with you.
So where are we going with this? Like Tibbs, I'm giving you 20 games. What are we at now? Game what? 16 or 17?
16 is tonight.
16 is tonight.
No. We're 9-7. So
Okay,
we're
so
at 16.
17 is tonight.
Right.
I'm giving you 20 games. I thought that was fair. I said it before. I'm saying it again. 20 games. After that, let me see what you want to do a little different. Like, come on, get some more creativity with your offensive attack. Look, I said it when they signed Evan Fournier. I said I could name 75 ball players better than Evan Fournier.
Right.
All right?
Okay.
I was almost challenged on another situation, on another podcast that I couldn't. I can name now more than 75 ball players better than Evan Fournier. Okay? The money we gave him, it's all right. Do something different. That's all I'm saying. And I'm gonna leave it there. Like, let's get in our creative bags, do something different. Some of our young guys that we have on the bench, they deserve more time. They deserve to be more in this party. We got injured guys, we got guys who are hurt, we got guys who in the starting lineup who are hobbling. Come on.
Right.
And I'm gonna leave it there.
I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say this to your point. So you want things to be different. You think it's the coach, you think it's the players. I'm here to tell you that I think the front office is inept. It's the front office, bro. It's not Tibbs, it's not the players. It's the front office. The front office is inept, but since we're in the middle of it and they hadn't done anything disastrous, then we can't really point the finger at them or don't feel comfortable pointing the finger at them because they hadn't done anything disastrous. They hadn't taken on a bad contract. They hadn't lost in a bad trade. You know what I'm saying? The draft picks hadn't been a bust yet. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a function of the front office being absolutely outfoxed at every turn.
Okay. I'm there with you.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Because I had this conversation with Hadouken and Sharon, and shout out to Hadouken and Sharon of the Hadouken and Sharon's No Life Pod. Check him out he'll be on like 3 times a week. Right. He said the Knicks couldn't trade up, right? But AD, the Knicks at the time had 5 first-round picks over 3 years. Right?
Yes.
They had Mitchell Robinson, who was swirling in trade rumors, right? Right. They have 1 million second-round picks, and you telling me that you could not trade up in the draft to get a high upside rookie? How is that so? Yeah, I know. I'm with you.
I agree. I agree.
I'm with you. So instead of signing an Evan Fournier, right? Think about this, and I know this is going to sound disgusting, right? But I told G-Man for Life of the Pod Couple. Check him out Thursdays at 6:30 on the Pod Couple. He said there's no way the Knicks will carry 4 rookies. And I'm like, G-Man, this year's draft, the Knicks are going to draft 4 rookies, bro. I promise you. He was like, "No, Uncle Freezy, you crazy!" And I'm like, "Nah, bro. The Knicks are gonna draft 4 rookies this year because, it's now is the time for you to draft 4 rookies. And guess what? The Knicks drafted 4 rookies, right? What I'm saying to you is this front office is adverse to making a risky move, which makes them inept. Because at the end of the day, every move comes with risk. Is the guy you're trading these assets for going to be better than the guy that you're trading away? Right? Hey, Ron, what's good? What's good? That's the assignments. What's good? And so
I remember a month or so ago and I'm calling him out again. Like I called him out last week because I want him to walk up in here. Free Keith, I want you to walk up in here and talk. Hold on, let me get on screen and talk that Kemba nonsense right now. I want you to walk up on in here and tell me how the Knicks franchise were playing chess, not checkers, and all of that. I hate being that guy to kill Kemba. Look, I love Kemba. I wanted him several years ago. You know what I'm saying? I remember him from UConn and all of that. But those signings wasn't like you were doing something that no one else could see. It's like after you go to the supermarket after Black Friday. It's what's there. It's what's left.
Right.
You know that? You know when you see the counter guy and you're like, hey, is there anything else in the back? And they're like, oh, let me go check.
Right.
And they come back and say, no, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's how they went bargain basement shopping. And that was my problem with them then, and it's still my problem with them now.
And so my deal is, I think they're doing the same thing as the previous regimes have been doing. I noticed that that's going to sound crazy, right? I think it's going to sound crazy, but here's the thing. The thing is, previous regimes say, hey, we're going to play it safe with the salary cap, and in 2 years, we're going to go out and sign a big-time free agent. That's what I think this team is doing, because they did the classic first step that those other organizations did: go out and sign a washed-up point guard, a washed-up all-star. You've seen it before. You've seen the Knicks do it. You seen the Knicks trade for Mo Cheeks?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You seen the Knicks who else? Mo Cheeks, Doc Rivers,
Gerald Henderson,
Derek Harper,
Rolando Blackman.
Yeah. You seen it's a blueprint to it in New York City. Instead of taking those 5 first-round picks, those bajillion second-round picks, right? And trading up in the draft and getting a guy, right? AD, I'm gonna say this, and then I gotta get off because I gotta do some prep work for another joint. But I'm gonna say this. But you've seen it. The Knicks were picking 9. A dude that everybody was intrigued by named Luka Doncic was on the board, right? Your star player says, hey, stupid Knicks front office, trade everything you got and pair up me and Luka Doncic. And they're like, you didn't tell me what to do. I'm going to take Kevin Knox. So the Knicks don't package assets, and they take Kevin Knox. And yeah.
Freezy, it takes foresight. And let me do the Freezy. I hate that you mentioned that, yo, because that draft in particular, I wanted Trae Young, right?
Right.
And I was hyping him up. And I remember a friend of mine was telling me his numbers are inflated because of college and blah 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 blah. He think he's Curry. I'm like, dude, he's a good ball player.
Yes. Give him
I'm not
credit.
even likening him to Curry. I'm liking him like, did you see how much assists he averaged? He led the nation in points and assists.
And assists.
Okay. Until I watched, because I take my cue from a couple of overseas guys that their names are skipping me right now, but you know them. They're regular Jay Billis and other cat from ESPN.
Right.
And I looked at Luka, because generally when you watch overseas guys, their points, you can't go by what they average point wise, because they play a different brand of basketball in Europe and overseas.
Right.
A whole lot of points is not how you can grade a good basketball player. But he happened to have been the leader of points scored amongst like anyone who would ever come on the scene.
Right.
And I'm watching him and I'm like, okay, whoa. First thing I said in my mouth, okay, whoa.
This dude
I
can
watched
play.
a little bit more and I was like, whoa, who is this dude? Like, this kid is crazy. I'm watching him and I'm watching like all his vitriol and everything he had about his game and everything. I'm like, no. You got to your point, you got a KP. You trade everything you got to match up with this dude. You don't let Dallas, leapfrog and do a deal with Atlanta. You need to be the one with Atlanta leapfrogging and making a move for this guy. It takes foresight. It takes real management that can see a player 2-3 years down the line and will wait. Will be a red R-back that will wait for Larry Bird.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? That's what it takes. Management like that. And do we have that?
No.
I don't. Anyway, we're not going to leave on a sour note. We promised the fans and Nick Nation that we're not going to leave on a sour note. We did win a game yesterday. Hopefully we win a game here tonight and we'll move from there. Nick Nation, I'm good. Freezer, you good? Let's pick up next Sunday.
We gotta do the boxing show, bro. We gotta do the boxing show.
Dude, let me know, because I know exactly where I want to start from.
Meldrick Taylor.
Let me know. Today I can't do today because I'm in.
I can't do today either.
If you can only see my house, I'm in the middle of reconstruction right now.
Hey, so it's Thanksgiving week, right? I think I have a clear schedule. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving,
okay.
Friday after Thanksgiving. So maybe we could do a
Friday show.
Yeah, maybe we can do, and we can go. Maybe we could go as long as we want, man. No pressure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Call me up so we can chop it up on what we're gonna chop up, because I want to go for some of these articles in the ring. And definitely, again, if you haven't gotten the ring, for those who are boxing fans, go out and get this month's edition of the Ring. Excellent work. Excellent.
Yeah, man. And so just real quick to your Ali Tyson argument, bro. Ali may go 8.
My God.
But Mike, those rib shots, bro. AD, listen. So I sparred with a dude named Terrell Biggs. I don't know if you remember him or not, right?
I know Terrell
Biggs. But I don't know him personally. I listen. He was doing a boxing clinic for the super heavies, right? 200. And he was like, "Yo, your jab, man. You got to do, your jab." And I was like, "Hey, you the dude that Mike Tyson made cry like a girl." AD, no, hand to the man. This is how disrespectful I was, bro. This is how disrespectful I was. And he was like, "What'd you say?" And I was like, "You heard me. Mike make you scream like a girl." Martin Lawrence said you was screaming like a. Martin Lawrence said Mike hit you, and you ordered a Caesar salad in the ring. He's like, Mike, he said, Mike hit you, and you just started ordering dinner. I like a Caesar salad with sun-dried tomatoes. And he was like, yo, it just because I was mad, greedy, disrespectful. And so he was like, Coach, give him some gloves. Right. And I was like, what? You want some of me? Bro, AD, listen. In terms of confidence in professional sports, boxers have a confidence level that you have never seen, bro.
Yeah.
Their boxers' confidence level is everything. Yeah. Like when people say boxers used to be scared of Mike in the ring. No, they might have been scared of a punch, but they wasn't scared of him personally. They might have been scared of a thing that might make them lose, or they wasn't scared of the man. Right. Like how people used to be scared of Sonny Liston. Then boxing ain't like that no more. You know what I'm saying? Because if you beat Sonny Liston, the mafia might be in your apartment after the fight. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But so Terrell Biggs, okay, so you know I'm light skinned, right? So I'm light skinned. Terrell Biggs.
Oh, you sure? Yeah. I think it was dipped in flour.
Yeah. Ha ha. So anyway. So Terrell Biggs jabbed me so fast, I didn't see his jab. I felt the jab on my shoulder, and I looked at it like real quick. Like, he's like, yeah, that was me. The dude Terrell Biggs was so fast and so okay. So for me, I was a street fighter, a club fighter. Like you would get off from work and go down to Green City Grocery. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing coming on, ain't no game tonight.
The Green City Grocery champ.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, bro. 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Yeah, and when I go down and when I go around it, they be like, "What's up, champ?" I be like, "Hey." You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
you take that acknowledgement. What up? What up?
Yeah. What's up? Hey, what's up, y'all? So anyway, Terrell Biggs jabbed me so fast that I didn't even see it. I felt it, and I was considered quick. I was a super heavy, but I wasn't really super heavy. Like super heavy is 200 and up, right? But I was probably 200 pounds and a half. So I barely made it, right? Bro, he was like, Coach, give him some gloves. I was like, yo, you gonna do headgear now? He was like, no, you need headgear. I don't. I was like, what? Who you talking to, bro? So he was jabbing me, AD, and it felt like he was pushing my shoulder out of the socket. He was so strong and so accurate that he could jab me on my shoulder. He was like, I ain't gonna hit you in the face because I ain't want to kill you. You know what I'm saying? And so I messed around and spent off his foot and hit him with a body shot. Bam! He was like, oh, you want to fight? So he faked the jab, and I could kind of see it. I could kind of see his shoulder. So he faked the jab, and I reverse pivot, and he caught me in the body with a body shot, bro. And I swear, my teeth had clicked together. He hit me with a body shot and my teeth clicked together, bro. With the mouth guard now. You know you gotta have how your teeth click together and you got a mouth guard in, right?
Yeah, he had you crying for your mama.
Pretty much. And he was like, yo, and so Coach was like, that's enough, man. Uncle Freezy, shut up. And I was like, okay. And so it's like, shut up, disrespecting our guests. And I was like, okay, all right. And so he was like, yo, Uncle Freezy, if you think I hit hard and hit fast, Mike Tyson hits 500 times harder and 100 times faster. And I was like, yo, and in my mind, I'm like, I didn't even see this dude jab. And he's standing right here in front of me. I didn't even see it.
I'm gonna reiterate that you're crazy with the Tyson, but that's what's great about us is that you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to my facts. But I want to say this about Terrell before we close. Terrell Biggs was one of the most decorated heavyweights that we've had in the United States, American
But
boxing.
he was a Marine. So whatever.
And he was a Marine. Terrell Biggs was one of those guys that followed. I like calling it before Ali, after Ali. He's one of those guys that followed, and tried to be like a version of an Ali. I'm gonna sum up I'm gonna give the best out of his professional career. One Saturday afternoon, Terrell Biggs fought a dude named Billy Sims. Terrell broke his clavicle. He broke his I think he broke his right arm, his right arm, because he's basically left hand dominant. He broke his right arm clavicle against Billy Sims. They both was undefeated at the time on a Saturday afternoon on ABC with the late not Al Tribe. Oh my God, his name is skipping me right now, but he died of throat cancer. And Terrell Biggs fought and beat Billy Sims with one arm that Saturday afternoon, bloody and everything. And was from that fight, the Duvas, Georgie Benton, because Georgie Benton was his trainer, threw him in to fight Mike Tyson after that, which he wasn't ready.
And he wasn't ready.
And plus he had some issues because he had some substance abuse issues and stuff like that before, during, even as an amateur and after.
Right.
But for that afternoon, Terrell Biggs with one arm went 10 rounds with Billy Sims, who could swat. And he beat Billy Sims that afternoon with one arm. So one of the most courageous performances that you'll ever see in an octagon. So you think about a boxer, you only get two arms. So you think about fighting a dude with two hands and you only got one.
Right.
You haven't thrown, he didn't throw a right hand from like round 2 or 3 on. So for like 7-8 rounds, but for like 7-8 rounds, he fought with one hand and he won one of the most courageous fights that you can see. Definitely can YouTube that, Terrell Biggs against Billy Sims. To his credit, not a champion, not a world champion, gold medalist, decorated gold medalist, fought some of the greats in amateurs, lost a couple of times. The last one against lost a couple of times to Teofilo Stevenson, the Cuban great. But the last one, I thought he actually won that fight. But just to sum up his career, Terrell Biggs. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Salute to you, and for touching up my man Freezy. Touching up Freezy,
bro. And the thing about Terrell Biggs is afterwards he gave me some tips and pointers, not about in the ring stuff, but out of the ring stuff.
Life.
No. He taught me stuff about recovery. Because people see either you get your hand raised or you don't, and then after that the cameras go off.
Right.
But after that, bro, your body has carpet burn all over it. You ever had carpet burn before or sunburn?
Absolutely. We get carpet burn from the knees.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So your body have carpet burn all over because you're getting hit. Leather is rubbing on you for 9 consecutive minutes, right? So you get carpet burn everywhere. It gets so bad that when you move, you can hear your skin cracking. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, yo, what you need to do is do such and such. Get straight in an ice bath. I was like, man, I ain't getting no ice bath, man. You crazy. He's like, man, get straight in an ice bath. Then get in a tub as hot as you can stand it. And then get back in the ice bath and then shower. Put on aloe lotion. But before that time, I hadn't even know what aloe was. I was like, how you spell aloe? I had never heard of it before. You know what I'm saying? So he was giving me all these things because the thing about boxing is people think they see, hey man, yeah, he won, he lost. But whether you won or lost, your body still has been in something traumatic.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So the recovery process of it is what he taught me, right?
For boxers.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Right.
And I learned a valuable lesson too from a dude named Oscar de la Hoya. He was 16 years old. He was 16 years old at the time. He was like Uncle Freezy. Don't wrap your hands like that. Wrap your hands like you want to save them for later. He was like, you like writing, you like signing autographs, right? I was like, I don't sign autographs. I ain't famous. He was like, yo, you need to protect your hands.
Yes.
Like, because what people do is people bulk their hands up because they want to feel it. They want to feel when they hit somebody. He's like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Do it the opposite way. Take care of them things like you want to use them next time.
Right.
I was like, what you talking about? And so he showed. So my man, he was like 16 years old. He's showing all of us how to wrap hands.
Here are matches for tall man.
Yeah. So he was like, yo, just do stuff this way, right? And then there was other heavyweights along the way, other boxers along the way that taught you stuff like don't buy fancy boots, boxing, fancy boxing shoes, right? Buy the things you're going to be the most comfortable with. Because think about if you walking from here to Vietnam. This is the thing. The example. If you was walking here to Vietnam, what would you do? You put on some fancy shoes or something that's comfortable. I was like, yeah, I'll put on something fancy because I got to shine from here to Vietnam. I want people to see me. He's like, Uncle Freezy, you stupid. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're a dummy, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you take care of your body. I didn't know what taking care of your body meant back then. Back then, it was just take care of your body meant get in the weight room. And I was like, nah, you got to learn how to recover and take care. If you want to do this for a long time, you got to take care of your body like you want to have it for a long time. So anyway,
all right.
Let's get out of here, man.
Uncle Freezy, we'll see you next Sunday. Nick Nation.
Wednesday. No, Friday. We'll see. I'll see you
Friday. We're gonna hop on for the Friday special. So to you, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. And
Friday we're gonna talk Shannon Briggs.
Absolutely, let's do it. Brooklyn's own. Absolutely. Okay. Brownsville, we in here. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Crazy. Peace out.
All right, peace, y'all.